Okay, picture this. There's a village in the United States so isolated it's literally hidden deep inside the Grand Canyon. And no, this isn't some historical theme park. It's a real living community called Supai. It's the most remote village in the lower 48, and honestly, it kind of challenges everything we think we know about modern American life.
So, if there are no roads, that brings up a pretty big question, right? How do you get your mail? How does anything get in or out? I mean, forget about Amazon Prime trucks or the Postal Service van pulling up. It's a logistical puzzle that seems almost impossible in the 21st century.
Well, the answer is just as unique as the village itself. For the 600 or so people who live in Supai, all their mail, all their groceries, every single supply, it arrives by a method that hasn't really changed in centuries. A good, old-fashioned donkey train.
To really get why they do this, you first have to understand just how incredibly isolated this place is. Supai is truly a village off the map, a tiny pocket of civilization tucked away in one of the most rugged landscapes on the planet. The village is nestled way down at the bottom of Havasu Canyon. We're talking nearly 3,000 feet. That's 914 meters down. It's this amazing green oasis, a vibrant splash of life completely surrounded by an imposing world of rock.
So, as you can imagine, that extreme geography creates a huge challenge when it comes to just getting there. There are only two ways into Supai, and let me tell you, neither of them is what you'd call easy.
Think about almost any other town in America. You can just drive there, right? But not Supai. No roads lead to it. Your only options are to fly in on a helicopter or to hike the long, rugged trail all the way down the canyon wall.
And this makes the entire supply chain a massive undertaking. Everything from food to packages first gets trucked to the rim of the canyon. From there, it's all loaded up onto carts and then painstakingly pulled down that steep, winding trail by a train of donkeys.
So, who are the people who call this incredible place home? They are the Havasupai. Supai is their ancestral land, and their entire identity is deeply, deeply connected to this unique landscape.
You know, their name tells their story perfectly. Havasupai breaks down into Hava, meaning greenish-blue water, and Pai, which means people. So they are, quite literally, the people of the greenish-blue water. It's a direct link to the stunning turquoise waters that are the lifeblood of their community.
And their connection to this land goes way, way back. The Havasupai have lived in this canyon for at least 800 years, building a life here. Then, starting around 1976, they found a new way to thrive by tapping into the canyon's natural beauty for tourism. It was a way to build a bridge between their ancient traditions and modern survival. But despite the isolation, don't think of Supai as just a historical relic. No, it's a living, breathing community that has built all the infrastructure it needs to support its residents against some pretty incredible odds.
They've managed to build a remarkably self-contained world down there. The village has its own elementary school, a health clinic, that all-important post office, a cafe, and a lodge for visitors, and even its own government in the form of a 7-person tribal council.
The culture here is this really unique blend. You have residents who maintain indigenous religious beliefs that have been passed down for centuries, while some also practice Christianity. It's a place where you'll find 2 churches right alongside spaces for traditional community events.
So the big question is, how does a community this cut off actually survive, economically speaking? Well, the answer flows directly from the very thing that gives them their name, the water.
Tourism is by far the biggest piece of their economy, all driven by people wanting to see those famous waterfalls. But they also supplement that with traditional agriculture, like growing corn, melons, and beans, and by selling beautiful hand-woven baskets.
And what makes that water so spectacular? Well, that iconic blue-green color isn't a camera trick. It's caused by a mineral called travertine in the water, which reflects sunlight in this absolutely mesmerizing way. It's a beautiful little quirk of geology.
You know, this quote really says it all. The waterfall isn't just a pretty sight. It's the economic engine that has allowed the Havasupai people to keep thriving in their ancestral home. It creates this powerful link between nature, culture, and survival. All of this leaves us with a fascinating question to chew on. In a world that's always on, always connected, what's the value of a place like Supai? What can we learn from a community that's defined not by its connections, but by its beautiful, rugged, and resilient isolation?